High quality conversation, episode 7. I'm your host, stand up comedian Avion Smith. We got a bunch of funny articles we're going to read. I'm figuring this episode is going to just kind of lighten the mood a little bit, just because I think in 2 days I'm going to drop an entire 2 hour video about a lot of politics going on in America, Iran, all that good stuff. Let's get into news going on right now, though. 98-year-old federal judge suspended for mental fitness appeals to Supreme Court. So her colleagues, they're like, yo, this chick's 98 years old and kind of wilding on everybody. Now, it says that Newman maintained her fitness to serve and sued the court counsel that suspended her, claiming that the court's authority and threatens the judicial independence if judges can be sidelined by colleagues. Like they're like saying like, yo, like if everyone can just do this, so everyone can just agree that this person's messed up in the head just because. Well, with the discourse going on in America and how important people are taking age and the choices you're making, the first thing someone might look at if a lot of your colleagues are sitting here saying you're mentally unfit when you do something, and the first thing they want to go is like, yo, she's 98 years old. Why is so that's always been weird to me too. I never understood why people in politics want to hold their position for that long. It reminds me of an athlete that stays longer than they should, like a person who is liked by everyone, is a star, and then they stay an extra 4 years and taint everything they ever worked for. Politics and being old as heck does not add up ever, in my opinion, because one, you have to have an understanding. It takes a very talented individual to go about their whole life and stay with the times. You hear it all the time, people disagreeing and really it going down to different fundamentals just because someone might have been from a different place, someone might have grown up from a different time, that kind of stuff. So a 98-year-old federal judge being suspended, I'd have to look a little bit more into it, but I'm assuming there's something to it. Like just in the same sense that I wouldn't want a person that's 98 years old judging a 50-50 case. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I would want someone that's 55, you know, that's more active in my, because there is no way you have the energy to keep doing what you're doing at a high level, 98 years old. I would have to look a little bit more, but U.S. Circuit Judge Pauline Newman? U.S. Circuit Judge? Don't tell me this is the Fifth Circuit. Don't tell me if she was a part of the. No, 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 no. Okay, okay. But either way, because that Fifth Circuit Court in Louisiana passed that 10 Amendments thing that was crazy. That's going to get knocked down by the Supreme Court, though. This lady, I mean, I'm going to be honest. If there's a situation where you can't make your colleagues just be able to fire you and she loses her job, that would be great. But I have a feeling that by the time this even gets there, she might be, she might want to use her last like 2 weeks being alive with like her family. That's another thing. Why don't you want to be with your family? Why are you a federal judge, 98 years old, still doing that? This ain't for the love of the game, bro. Hate's got to be a part of this. This is not for the love of the game. Let me look up specifically just because. Let's see. So it seems like in 1984 she was appointed by Ronald Reagan, Republican. I can't say. I mean, by that assumption, she would be a Republican, but at the same time, it's like for the Republican Party, it's like age was such a big thing with Biden, but now that Trump's getting older, and then a 98-year-old, I'm just thinking you would want to spend the latter part of your years with your family and enjoying life and traveling and doing whatever you want to doing instead of just getting all of doing like you just want control. I feel like that's what it is. It's the old regime still wanting control, and I'm hoping that in the coming years there's some rules like, yo, once you hit 75, you're donezo. Cuz what are you doing here? You have no business doing this. Frankly, I mean, I know a lot of us might even have arguments against that, like, oh, but there's exceptions. Like, bro, you can't make exceptions with situations like this, and you want to make sure the people that are actively in politics are active in politics. And there's no way this 98-year-old woman is that active in politics. It's just impossible. And you might argue, oh, well, it's her whole life. Not That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the effort that she would have put in when she was 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, all the way up to even probably 75 would be a whole lot different. 98 years old. You're crazy. You're crazy if you think someone like this should be allowed to make any sort of choices 98 years old. And a Republican? Nah. I don't think we need that old regime, you know? You know? Oh, this is a good one. I know I said we would be talking about, offbeat news, but I would say this is pretty funny too. Not what's happening, but the claims that are happening, right? So here is out of London. This article's out of London. An Iranian girls' school that took a direct hit on the first day of the war had a years-long online presence, including dozens of photos of the children and their activities before it was struck along with at least 6 other buildings in an adjacent military compound. So the claim was that this was a mistake. It didn't show, like, there was no way we would have known this is a school. This is where it's funny. Like, what do you mean all the intel that you have didn't tell you that there was a school here, but then you could have just went on their Instagram? Oh, they're not. Yo, we didn't know they were there actually. Holy crap. Holy crap. They've been there forever. This is what we're talking about when we say sometimes even some of our chronically online internet people online, they could be useful in sometimes just to kind of earth it down a little, like, yo, before you bomb this populated area, could you ask your daughter, be like, yo, could you see if there's any schools in this area? Like, check Instagram or something. It's weird that something as little as just Googling it could have saved lives. Incompetence. I don't know what that is. Like, in my opinion, using every facet of what you have going on would be an option, right? Because we're wondering how the military is vetting and reviewing these locations to strike. And on top of that, we're already hearing that they're talking about seeing if drones could go to the West Coast. And you're not using every facet of your information, so you just bomb a girls' school? Oh, I get it. I get it now. I'm sorry. I didn't understand. We did it on purpose. Oh, oh. Now, here's what I want you to think about though. Am I saying the dude that pressed the button knew? No. I'm even going as far as saying I'm not really sure at what point they knew, but I'm at the point in my life where it's an impossibility for me. You have two options. For me, I'm choosing the first one that I'm going to offer. It is an impossibility for me to think that these people don't use every facet of information that they have, including Google, including just looking something up, right? It had to be done purposefully. In some capacity, in terms of, I'm not saying they attacked a girls' school, but a populated area of civilians. Yeah, bro, you're poking a bear. You shot the bear's kid's school up. What are you talking about? Poking a bear. This isn't even poking. Second option, incompetence. As much as a lot of you would like to say, and this is where I'm talking about, like, I don't necessarily blame them. Any person who literally, I'm talking about literally pressed a button that did, or sent whatever. You would be right to say that the military isn't necessarily filled with a bunch of people of the brightest capacity. And I'm not saying dumb. That's not what I'm saying at all by any means. I'm even upset that I'm even comparing it like this right now because I feel like it's going to get misinterpreted. But I feel like if you ask a number of people, I grew up in a military family. I grew up with a bunch of military around me. You'd be surprised at how many people aren't just gun ho, do whatever they say. Bombing a school, a girls' school. This is coming from up top. So if you want to say incompetence and just like blame it on like, oh, someone didn't know, this is how they're all dumbasses, you could say that, but I think that's a cop out. I think a lot of people in this world are doing a lot more on purpose than they even do, even if you want to say it's subconscious. I think a lot of people do exactly what they're doing and they know it, but it's a matter of admitting that they know that they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Admitting it's the first step, right? Admitting it is the first step to really any issue. I think we're going to just have to admit at some point that a lot of these things are done on purpose. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. To other news, treasure hunter freed after decade after jailed. I don't know. Okay. You're going to think that I read that wrong and I didn't read that wrong. I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to read exactly what it says cuz my mind just screwed with itself. Treasure hunter freed after decade jailed for hitting gold. The article's out of Florida. So, but that just messed my mind up because that was, I don't, decade jailed for hitting gold, whatever. Story goes, Tommy Thompson, what a name. Tommy Thompson, the treasure hunter. So he ended up finding in Central America millions and millions of dollars worth of these gold coins. It was a treasure hunt. He was sued originally because I think he was trying to go and sell it himself and put it in a bank overseas. 2.5 million of it is in an overseas bank in Belize right now. That's why I say that. There was a group suing him for $50 million because they're waiting for their money. I guess they funded this treasure hunt, but he was jailed. Now, at this point in my mind, right, 10 years in prison, these people aren't seeing their $50 million ever. I'm assuming he has the rest of it. This is all a contingent on how much money he had, right? $2.5 million for 10 years in federal prison? No, I am not doing that. I'm not sure. So what I'm assuming is there is that 50 mil somewhere. 10 years generational wealth and you put I'm assuming he could get away with this. Treasure hunting is always an interesting thing to me. I I mean by the name Tommy Thompson, I got to just assume this is a white guy. Treasure hunting to me seems like another one of those boredom adventure. You know, I can't just do whatever I want with my life. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to go be a treasure hunter. Unless he has some sort of like autistic obsession with this. Like if a report came out that like, oh, autistic treasure hunter Tommy Thompson just got let out of prison, I'd be like, oh, okay, he's like a dude in NASA. You know, he was so obsessed with it that this was really his only path. He was going to be a treasure hunter. He was going to be an astronaut. He was going to be a, I almost just said gynecologist, a paleontologist. This was always his future, you know? Outer Banks was a solid show, but I always had an issue with it because me personally, I don't, maybe it's because where I'm from. Maybe if I was from like some small town where there was this, that's the whole story. There's this small town and everyone knows that there's money and treasure somewhere here, right? Everyone's actually looking for it when everyone acts like they're not looking for it. I would have been the one dude in the show that have been like, no, I'm not really interested in any of this. They'd have been like, what? You don't want to help us find this gold? I'm like, no, I mean, didn't one of your friends just die? Didn't one of your friends just spend 10 years in federal prison? Because there's always the question, did Tommy Thompson, was he going to do this the whole time? Was he going to steal 50 million or $52.5 million with them saying there's 500 missing gold coins? I don't know. The moment you crack open the treasure chest, I know it would probably not like that, but I like to think in my head, since he's a treasure hunter, that it was a treasure chest that he opened and went, ah. You open the treasure chest, right? You see that? Ah. I'm gone. I'm gone. That's why I think it was exactly what he found and more. And more. Tommy Thompson, with that kind of name, with this kind of story, I hope you get away with it. I hope those investors get nothing. This is the new story. Tommy Thompson now has two different stories now, the Tommy gun and the treasure hunter, in my opinion. This is pretty good stuff. This is actually pretty dang good stuff. This one is fire. Statue depicting Trump and Epstein as Jack and Rose from in the Titanic scene like this. appears on national at the National Mall. Whatever. I don't even know why I edit on National Mall. Whatever. Basically, a collective. The installation got a permit, and so it's still there. They have a permit for this, which is the funniest thing ever. So this is all. What do they say in there? Completely legal, by the way. Done by the secret handshake. 12 feet tall golden statue. Of course, you know what's happening. They want to bring attention to the files. They want to bring attention to the fact that these people running our country are supporting the exact things that this dude did. They were there. It's no and if or but that happened. There's no talk back towards it. And the funniest part to me was the mall expressed mixed reactions ranging from praise to scorn. This is my litmus test. If you don't think this was true, funny, or anything of that relation, or bare minimally like center, like, oh shit, well, this is gonna get people talking about it. You know what I mean? Unless that's your thing. If you are scorning this, buddy, buddy, this is me putting my hand on your buddy. I got really bad news for you. You you support a pedophile, rapist, a racist who wants to start World War III. Sorry, that's you. But that's hilarious. That is hilarious. If I had the funds, I would fly out there like later in a couple years when this is popping off. This is the kind of thing that I'd go, be pretty funny if I took a flight over there and took a photo in front of this. Huh? White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson dismissed the work as a partisan stunt, disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. I mean, unless she's not, I don't know. I don't really know anything about her. All I know is she said it's a partisan stunt. Maybe I spoke a little bit too soon, but I just find it very hard to think that Trump would hire anybody covering anything with him not be MAGA. I should, and that's another thing too. I should stop probably saying just Republic because there is a difference, right? There's a lot of I know a number of Republicans from San Diego that didn't vote for Trump. That's a lot of the Republican part of my family that is pretty much a sliver of it. Not I want to say this second time around. No, I don't think any of them did this second term. But I think bringing attention to anything is really important. But it begs the question too. It's like we want you to talk about it, but the whole memifying of war, the memifying of these files, the memifying of everything, desensitization. I definitely said that a little funny. Don't make fun of me. The Wii Sports thing that was posted on the White House X account, right? Every time I think of X, I think of you know what, but whatever. Basically, it was the Wii Sports thing, and right before, you know, the Wii Sports where you like do the arrow, you do the thing, you try to hit the target. Well, right before it would hit the target, it would be a bomb going into a place. And turns out, remember I was talking about earlier? It could vary, bro. It's hilarious because that's exactly what they did to that girls' school, actually. And then they posted it. They're like, I know it wasn't a girls' school, probably they did post, but brother, it is just flooding and flooding and flooding the zone. It is memifying everything. It is getting you desensitized, making you think that war is funny, making you think that people dying is funny. As an open mic comedian, I can tell you this. That's not funny. I know because right now I'm in the process of working out. I'm kind of harsh right now, you know? I'm working towards something bigger than me. I'm trying to get past at a club. So I can't just be thinking everything is funny. So let me tell you this. People dying at a girls' school and you guys posting it to the internet, that's crazy. That's crazy. Turn that phone off. Jeesh, leave me alone. Bro, spam calls bother me so much. I know that's because my phone just rang and it just threw me off so bad. I hate spam phone calls so much. I wish every call center, like, how come we can't make a mistake? How come we can't make a mistake and bomb a call center that's spam calling and trying to take everyone's, like, old people's information? Why don't we ever accidentally hit that? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I make jokes. But why don't we ever accidentally bomb any one of these potential spam centers? That would be decent news. I feel like that could bring some people together, right? You want to show the people that you're bombing the right places. Bomb whoever just called my phone right now. How about that? Florida firefighters pulled python out of car's dashboard. Sorry, boys. Third leg joke. Good news. 4 male cheetah cubs born at San Diego Zoo. The realest. And by the way, I'm in New York right now. Been to the zoo. Not here yet. I need to go to the Bronx Zoo. People have told me that's like the only other zoo. There's like the Bronx Zoo's got it and the San Diego Zoo's got it. San Diego Zoo just put up 4 more male cheetah cubs. What are you doing? Huh? Huh? And let me tell you all this. I'm not scared of roller coasters. I am scared of things that look like just death traps in terms of, you know what? Not even death traps. I get upset at things that I would be mad at dying on. And a roller coaster is one of them. Roller coasters, if I died on a roller coaster, I I would be mad. I would be so mad right when I go, and I'd be like, "What? Really?" Like imagine going to your local fair and going on one of those janky rides and then you being the one. It happens all the time, y'all. Don't act like it don't. Once a year there's some accidents. Someone gets popped. Someone's head hits some metal and done. If that was me, I'd be really angry. So I try to avoid things that would make me really angry if I died on it. Now I get to the zoo. I love the zoo. I love the San Diego Zoo. We got a safari park. We got everything. We take care of these dudes. They be thriving with us. San Diego, animals, like if you're an animal and you get the notice, you're like, oh man, y'all, I'm getting transferred. They're like, oh, where are you transferring? They're sending me to the San Diego Zoo. Have you guys heard of that place? You're going to the San Diego Zoo? That's like in the military, wherever you put your number one thing where you want to go, you get to go there. It's honestly like getting stationed in San Diego in the Navy. It's like, bro, I'm going to San Diego. I've never been there before. Brother, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it here. San Diego Zoo's got it. San Diego's got it. Great town, great city. Great zoo. Bag containing weed and cash accidentally donated to a New Zealand charity shop. Sounds real to me. Sounds like they're doing a really good deed, honestly. Oh my gosh. This is a good headline. Oops, South Korean cops lost $5 million in seized crypto after leaking wallet password. So they took over $5 million from 100 tax evaders in total and accidentally exposed the seed phrases and enabling the blockchain transaction in the wee hours. Stolen pre-Redogium token has a 12 million market hit. And I guess the coin, whatever the official thing hasn't shown laundering, but whenever they posted it, in photos that they posted, it had all the information. So if you're the right person, it's like seeing, if you're the right person that knows what they're doing, that's like if someone puts their credit card like this, gives you their social and everything. They're like, oh, thank you, and you can't track me. Thank you. Actually, Korean, is it, oh my God, is it kamsamnida? Thank you in Korean. Come on now. 감사합니다. I just looked it up. I've been to South Korea and been to North Korea, by the way, and made it out. I'll tell you guys a story. So I was in, so I grew up in Japan, and that allowed me to go visit a lot of different countries. South Korea being one of them. I loved it. It was an amazing experience, very fun. But we also got to go to the DMZ. So not to be taken for the DMV, both I assume are hell on earth, DMV and North Korea. So whatever. But the DMZ, you can take a tour. And when we went there, across the border, actually, funny enough, something was happening while we were there, and we had to fucking like leave really quick and all that stuff, and all these guys were moving, and there was this guy just staring at us like this, and it's funny because I swear North Korea puts the biggest people they can find in the country. Like if you are over 6'3" in North Korea, you're going to be one of the guards on the border to look intimidating. It's like when you put offensive linemen in front of everybody when you walk out on the bus to intimidate you. This is the size of the team. This is how big we are because they want you to think, that's what it is. Funny enough, I noticed that. I was like 12. I was like 12 years old and we were on the ride back. I looked up at my dad, Marine. I looked it up at him. I said, "Yo, bro, you notice how like they were like the biggest Koreans we've ever seen in our lives. The only dangerous Korean I know is the Korean Zombie, UFC fighter. I was like, brother, why did they do that? Do you think that's all for show? He goes, yeah, that's all for show. He goes, you could take him. He looked at me and goes, he's real as hell. My dad's real as hell. But we have a barbed wire from it. They sell barbed wire, North Korean barbed wire, I guess. I don't know how ethical that is looking back on it, but it is pretty sick. I mean, I feel the same way about it as when I went to Thailand and like I'm like holding like a drugged up I'm like laying next to a drugged up tiger. I'm like, "What up, gang?" It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff out of Korea. There's K-pop. There's drama on Twitter. There. I guess it's Koreans versus Southeast Asia. I'm Filipino. I don't really know about all this. Filipinos, in my opinion, we get the butt of the stick a lot of the time. Anyways, we get called the blank of Asia, and you could insert like fucking anything. People say whatever about Filipinos, bro. The whatever. I will say this though. They do find us very attractive. Right? Right? And I do enjoy that. Thank you. Thank you, Filipino. Shout out Cameron Diaz, Filipino. I'll probably talk about this a little bit more in my next episode, but we'll talk about it a little here in terms of poking bears. Again, we're going to talk about poking bears again. Trump said that Putin may be helping Iran a little bit. Now, the mood behind how he said it is one thing. It's like, yeah, but we all do. We helped Ukraine. They're going to help them. People are going to do whatever they're going to do in their best interest. But here's also the thing. You're kind of setting a different stage now. Because it's like if you're saying that China would agree that Russia is doing this, and then at the same time you're lifting tariffs on Russia, even though you're saying they're helping the people we're supposedly, because we are helping them bomb Iran. Dude, the last time I said that country, that my stuff got, what's it called? And whatever though. If we're helping Israel bomb Iran and you're saying they're helping Iran, but then also we're helping them, are we just inciting violence everywhere? That's all we're doing is just inciting violence everywhere. We're like, yo, you can get some bombs. We're not messing with over there because we already know you own us. The United States of Israel is real. You own us, brother. You're getting reparations. Black people haven't seen reparations ever. Bro, slave owners got reparations for slaves and black people didn't get reparations. Black people still have to go to jury duty. What the fuck is going on? And then we're just inciting violence. We're like, yo, since we got interest over there, we're gonna go over here, and since we're gonna go throw money at Ukraine, we don't mess with them, but we're also gonna help out Russia too. Huh? So this isn't about sides. We're just warring up. We're just like, yeah, it's just we're just fucking around, just literally playing a game of war. Literally playing a game of war. And this is where I'm thinking I'd really like for the people that voted for him in that right age group to get drafted first. I think that should be true. I legitimately think that should be a thing. If there's not going to be a draft, bro. I don't know. I know I'm just saying bold things. I personally don't think there will be because one, I pray that there's not a world war. I pray that we don't have a draft, and I pray that we don't have any of this going on immediately when we get a new president. Like the shit my mom and I talked about the other day. It's gonna be such a dramatic shift to like, is that what's gonna happen? Like the moment we get a new president, everything's gonna be like, yo, bro. Stop everything. That was that other guy. That was that other guy. I know a lot of you MAGA types, evangelists, like, you're like, oh, praying for you. We just have to pray for better times. Well, they're here illegally, you know. I'll pray for them in the detention centers, the $38 billion detention centers. I'll pray for them. Please, I'll pray for you. Well, I need you to pray on the front lines. Why don't you pray on the front lines? Okay? Cuz you obviously know how to follow orders. Bootlicking is looks crazy in 2026, bro. People get their ass beat for bootlicking. Just saying, bro. People used to get their ass beat for shit like that. It's like a case of the Mondays. You ever get any of you guys get told? Someone ever tell you oh, it looks like someone's got a case of the Mondays. Nah, man. That people get their ass kicked for saying stuff like that where I'm from. Nah, man. If you get the Office Space reference, we are two peas in a pod. I love that movie. Office Space like shaped me as a person, almost damn near. Cause it's die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker. Fuck that printer. Let's see what we can talk about next. You know what I want to talk about actually? I want to talk about a stat that I heard from TikTok. A guy said that there was only 8 women, because they're claiming they're rapists, murderers, all this stuff. There was only 8 women murdered in the last 4 years by illegal immigrants. That's what he said. He had some screenshots on his screen. I looked at his page. Let's just go with what he's right. But let's just say, generally speaking, even if you doubled it, let's say 16, right, in 4 years. There was a MAGA dude who clipped his whole family, 3 daughters and his wife, and then himself. That's 5 killed, all because they wouldn't shut up during the 49er game and they were losing. I think we have to start really having a conversation about who's the real threat in America, and it's probably the people claiming that America's losing an identity that it never had. That's why I'm going to stick to MAGA. I really don't want to hyper focus on the fact that he was a white dude, but let's just call it MAGA, and you're going to assume he's a white dude anyways. That's the thing. So MAGA accounted for 5 murders in one day. So even if we doubled it and called it 16 women, this dude killed 4 women in one night. We got to start really understanding who is destroying the real identity of America, who is destroying and murdering our people the most. It's the people claiming an identity that never was. So they don't even know what they're fighting for. It's the same as the dude in the video way back when that was holding a Confederate flag and arguing with that black guy. And he said, did your family own slaves or blah, blah, blah. He says something about, well, do you know how much a slave cost back then? Blah, blah, blah. This flag is history. It doesn't just mean slavery. It's just at some point the conversation always gets a little odd. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean your family deserved reparations? Because do you know how much a slave cost back then? Yikes. It always gets weird. It's always going to get weird. That's why I call them weirdos. Where I'm from, San Diego, in Southern California, actually, honestly, it might be all California, being called a weirdo is crazy because I've seen conversations with 2 people, arguments where they'll call each other everything in the book. A bitch, an asshole, just everything, bro. And then weirdo gets dropped, backpack off, pockets empty. It's happening. It's happening. It's so funny. It is so funny. But I call those people weirdos. And that's it. That's all you really can call them. Another good piece of news. United Airlines can now boot passengers who refuse to use headphones with their devices. Now, I had already talked about this one time on my socials, but here's an update. My mom saw that I posted that, texted me another article that said someone did get kicked off. The very next day, I just looked so giddy. I swear that was weird. I just look so giddy because that's how I feel when a weirdo gets what they deserve. Sorry. Cause I'll put it like this. If you're doing weird stuff like that, movie, no headphones, bro, I saw this guy with his phone out watching some shit that had some pretty softcore pee basically just going on. Like the scene was going on like 5 minutes. It might have been that Emma Stone movie where she gets her brain replaced and then it's supposed to be this deep film. It's not deep at all. It's crazy. It's a crazy film. I went to go see that movie with my mom on accident. Could you imagine how disgusted we were? Oh my god. Fun movie. You got to that's one for the ladies to go see with their girls. It's not me. It's not me at all. And we didn't look into this movie at all. We're just Emma Stone fans. Like so if you're doing weird stuff like that, you deserve to get kicked off a plane. And here's another thing. Taking shoes off on the plane will always be weird. If you showed up in sandals, if you showed up in slides, you're in your own universe. You walked into this place 10 toes down. 10 toes down. But if you have shoes with laces on and they're tied on, you better keep those shoes on the entire time cuz I'm the first person to raise my hand and go, "Yo, can I move seats?" Why? Because this person has their shoes off and it smells and I want to leave. And I asked them, "Yo, hey, could you put your shoes on cuz I'm going to be honest, like it does smell. Like I'm going to be real with you. If it doesn't, I can deal with a lot of things, but the moment it becomes an inconvenience, call me a Karen, call me whatever you want. I don't think it's a Karen. I think I'm a weirdo police. That's what I am. I'm the weirdo police. Let me tell y'all another story. This woman was trying to solicit sex from me on a plane and start conversation and like just basically like, yo, like, how long are you gonna be? Are you have a layover? I'm here. I'm going here for 2 days. I'm like, no, I'm just catching another flight. She had sandals on, so I'm not bugging. Takes sandals off. Her foot goes to my thing, and it's literally this on my leg. And I'm at the point where I had to look right, and I looked at her and I go, "Hey, are you okay? Are you are you trying to tell me that the person next to you is like beating you or you're here against your will? Are you actually trying to tell me like you have a bomb on your chest or something?" I know I'm not allowed to say that word on an airplane, but your if your toes get under my pants and under my sock and touch my skin, lady, maybe I could have got some head out of that. No, no, Avion. No, I don't want that. But dude, don't do weird stuff on the plane. The moment I said that, she went back to her little space. Move necessarily, but there was this one guy who sat next to me that smelled like complete crap. Me and the guy to the right of him looked at each other, and when he went to the bathroom, I said, "Bro, it smells like shit." Both of me and him, tenant walks by, me and him both go, "Hey, um, would you mind if we move seats?" And then she goes, "Oh yeah, let me look around." And then when we both got up, we both whispered to her, we go, "That guy smells like complete shit." And then she goes, "I knew exactly why you guys asked to move. I didn't say a damn word. I knew. She gave us 3 seats in between them. Oh my gosh, I felt so bad. I feel like the people in front of him and behind him could smell how much shit he had on him. Disgusting. Disgusting. But thank you guys so much for watching. This was an amazing, about a 40-minute clip. Awesome stuff. Hopefully, it will be longer. I'm going to be posting multiple episodes a week. That's how this works. It could be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. I'm probably going to have some of my friends on too so we can talk about stuff. But thank you guys for watching. Please follow my socials if you want to laugh on TikTok. I post a bunch of clips. So if you're here already, you're good. But TikTok's probably where you would want to see me because I post a lot more stuff where I'm walking around the city. I'm going to say random stuff that's just on my mind. And if it's good enough, it comes here. Thank you again. I am a stand-up comedian. My name is Avion Smith. Y'all have a good day. Bye.